Welcome to Top 10 the World channel. Top 10 the World is a channel that aggregates useful information for everyone. Now, let's go. Today, Top 10 the World channel will send you a video titled Top 10 Most Dangerous Border in the World. Let's start now. 1. India-Pakistan Border. The conflict between India and Pakistan is nothing new. We can trace it back to 1947 AD. It's the year Pakistan separated from India. The separation was marked by violence and death of many people. After the separation, both countries have fought war 3 times in total. There are still frequent shootings in the border of these countries. Anyone who crosses the border is branded a spy and faces years of imprisonment. The matter has worsened due to the debate about the authority of Kashmir. 2. US-Mexico Border. The USA and Mexico border is 1,950 miles long and is always the center of attention. The border between these countries is the major place where many drug cartels operate. As a result, the crime rate around the border regions is very high. It is estimated that nearly 20,000 people have died since 2007 AD in this border. The situation around border became worse when the Mexican government decided to take down these drug cartels. The frequent clash between the government and the drug cartels has made the border between these countries one of the most dangerous borders in the world. Donald Trump even called for the construction of a wall at the border with Mexico in his infamous speech. 3. Sudan-South Sudan Border. The 22-year-long civil war in Sudan ended in 2005 AD, during which nearly 2 million people died. After the independence referendum, southern Sudan separated from Sudan. However, the conflict reprised when southern Sudan laid a claim in Abyei region. As a result, Sudan refused to recognize the independence of southern Sudan. In the subsequent conflict, dozens were killed and thousands of people were displaced from the border. This has turned the 1,350 miles border between the countries as one of the toughest in the world. 4. North Korea-South Korea Border. North Korea and South Korea separated in 1948 AD. The two countries were at war, which concluded in 1953 AD. No peace treaties were signed even though both countries removed the troops. So technically, the countries are still at war. In addition to that, the 150 miles long borders are full of military fortification and 2 million troops are deployed. Add to the fact that North Korea has a nuclear weapon and has one of the most feared autocratic leaders. The border is the worst nightmare for anyone trying to cross it. 5. Angola-Democratic Republic of Congo Border. Angola and DPR of Congo were once allies. Angola helped the DPR of Congo fight against the Ugandan and Rwandan-backed rebels of the DPR of Congo. However, the relationship between these countries turned sour after the dispute arose about border demarcation and ownership of the offshore oil. This has resulted in the expulsion of hundreds of thousands of people from both sides. The situation of the women in both countries is much worse. They are subjected to rape and violence from security forces of both sides. Therefore, the 1,560 miles long border is one of the borders to be avoided at all cost, especially by women. 6. Kenya-Somalia Border. Kenya and Somalia are one of the poorest countries of the world. Both the countries are at civil war. The prime reason for that can be identified as the failure of the states. In addition, there is an anarchy at the border area and the communal violence is at all-time high. As a result, the border between these countries is one of the most dangerous borders in the world. The profiteering has made the matter even more serious. Various films have been made addressing these issues. If you want a first-hand experience of the border, it will be advisable to see those films rather than cross the border. 7. Venezuela-Colombia Border. The border between Venezuela and Colombia is one of the toughest in the world because of the volatile diplomatic relationship between these two countries. The Colombian government has been accusing Venezuelan government of supporting and harboring the rebels of Colombia. Recently, their relationship has improved after the Venezuelan government made an attempt and started taking action against the rebels. As a result, many rebels are returning back to Colombia, so the situation around the border is very serious. Colombian rebels have blown many pipelines and attacked the railways around the border. The frequent confrontation between the government and the rebel side has made it one of the most unsafe borders in the world. 8. Iran-Iraq border. Iran has theocracy rule and is one of the countries which, supposedly, possesses nuclear weapons. The borders separating these countries are either very poorly marked or totally unmarked in many parts. Even though it is legal to travel certain parts of Iran and Iraq, if you are found loitering in the border area without a proper document, you will be subjected to imprisonment. The worst-case scenario is, you will be branded spy and imprisoned for life. 9. Syria-Israel border. Syria is now among the poorest countries in the world due to existing instabilities. The Israeli officials have been accusing the Syrian government of encouraging the protesters of Syria to cross the border in order to divert the attention away from the internal affairs of the country. Thus, the diplomatic relationship between them is very volatile. This has further led to the worsening of the situation at the border indirectly. It would be wise to remain far away from this border. 10. Pakistan-Afghanistan border. The 1,500-mile border between Pakistan and Afghanistan is known as the Durand Line, is one of the most dangerous places to venture. Once an important trade route, the area is the home of Taliban. Frequent ambushes and military actions have led it to be one of the most dangerous borders in the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe and comment to let the Top 10 The World channel know.